Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Hope you all are good. You had a good week. If you had a chance to see my earlier videos, please do comment on them or and like them. And if you feel they were beneficial, please do share them to whoever you feel it might be useful to. So coming to this video, it started off with some photos which I just took off the internet. And if you have not guessed it already, it is about global warming, climate change, which in my opinion is the number one threat facing our planet, our species today. And I would like to talk about it a little in terms of how important it is and what we can do. I also want to relate it to my channel, Break Free and Live Your Best Life, in a sense that it's something I feel I need to contribute to in making my life meaningful, and it's part of the circle of life on one section on impact, what I can do in this regard. Okay, so coming to my point, I try to be as positive as possible, okay, which is the thing to be, right? So we can think clearly and progress. And I just want to admit that one of the concern I have is this topic, which is global warming, climate change. And I feel it should not be only my concern, it should be a concern of all of us here, in a sense of not just being simply to be worried about it, but that doesn't help, but what can we do about it, right? So I like to talk about few things which could be helpful for you, to guide you in what you can do. Share a little of my experience and my perspective, and if there's any new idea, new suggestions in this joint effort of us to fight the challenge, the threat of climate change, I think we should start sharing about it. Talking about and sharing ideas, and it's an urgent thing we need to address. So a lot of people, I believe, are aware, at least today, about climate change. They're aware of the flooding, they're aware of the increasing temperature, like on the photos which I've shared. 2023 was the hottest year on record. 2024, every month is a record for being the hottest month. Food issues have already started, water shortage issues have already started. In 2019-20, there were massive fires in Australia, a minimum of 1 billion, and some reports have been putting it up to 3 billion lives, animals, particularly mammals and other species were lost. And there's so much of damage was done to the environment, and on everything that we see, the polar caps melting, right? And I think I can go on, but I think many of you are already aware with the media showing all these facts. So being aware about it is one thing. What we can do about it is something I think many need guidance on, including me. But from my side, there was some guidance I received and some action that I was taking, which I would like to share with you. So what can we do for those who are interested? And I hope many of us are. I think I'll break it down into parts. So the first part is that on a personal level, what we can do. So I think on a personal level, in part A, let's call it, we can reduce our carbon footprint. So in a sense, how? For example, those who are non-vegetarian, reduce our meat eating, go for more plant-based. I know that's difficult, even for me it's difficult, but at least maybe not, if it's difficult, don't take it off completely, but start reducing it, or make it in a reduced portion. If many people do this, that impact itself is very big. And the other thing is avoid wastage, buy only what you need. The more you buy, the more resources consumes more carbon footprint. Clothing, buy quality clothing, not fast fashion. I was in the retail industry, and I did for some time, yes, did work for fast fashion for a limited time, but I came out of it quickly, and more towards quality clothing. And that also in clothing, what you actually need to buy. Can you reuse, recycle, avoid plastic? If you need to buy something, I know sometimes it's difficult, but they do come with plastic. Create a pressure on them, or look for places where offer less plastic packaging. Give your opinions to the manufacturer. I know I've seen YouTube videos of kids, putting pressure on companies, multinational, to change the way they package or the way they use materials, and the companies have listened, at least for a few months. So consumer is king, right? So let us use our power. So a lot of things on that side. I remember, and this I'm talking about to be a role model. I remember I was traveling to a place on business, and there was a senior manager, and everywhere she went, from meeting to meeting, to training, to presentation, building to building, she was carrying one water bottle. And I, at that point, although I was using a water bottle, reusable water bottle, I sort of made excuses. It's difficult to carry a water bottle, like going to meeting, who are going to carry? I used to use these plastic bottles, many minimum, but I used to use them. But looking at this lady, I just dropped it. I said, if she can do it, I can do it. So what I'm trying to say here is, be the role model. So this is on the personal side, what we can do ourselves. And I'm sure you can look up the net, you can look at other role models on what you can do to reduce your carbon footprint. The second, or part B, I would say, is speak up, because this is something we need to address. It's not something which we can afford to ignore. Speak up at the communities, schools, offices, create awareness. Number 3, or part C, let's call it, where it's possible, pressurize your local leaders, your governing people, to start acting, because they need many times a push, right? Number 4, you can take action where possible. And I'm not saying go on a riot or something. I know I'm saying in a way of either we find out climate action groups in your community, attend their meetings, see what you can do in a civilized way. The other thing, I know some people who have taken legal action against environmental destruction. Like, for example, in the state of Goa, I'm very in admiration and respect for some select NGOs in Goa who have taken on the government to stop their corrupt ways of making money, or certain capitalists whose sole motive is profit, but at the same time destroying a lot of land, polluting a lot of water, destroying forests and trees, and I can go on. So there are activists who are putting their life, their time, their huge sacrifice online, and it looks like they're 24/7 just dedicated to this. Now I know that's difficult for many people, because I have own families, our jobs, our business to run. It's difficult, but I think we can at least support them, either say promote them, either financially. Now if some of you are concerned about corruption or money going in the wrong hands, you can pay the party that the NGO is dealing with directly. For example, pay the lawyer directly, offer to pay for the utilities to support their fight, offer to pay for the transportation. So there are ways you can support them. Photocopying, which is a big thing here. For example, making so many documents in highly bureaucratic India. So I can keep on giving suggestions, but I'm saying be part of it, right? Try to help them out. For me, on my part, I'm not at the level at these activists, and I say let me call them genuine activists, have done. But I try to do my own little bit. I try to support them in some way, whether it's financially, whether it's promoting them, whether it's on social media, and whatever way I can. Sometime when I have time, I attend their meetings, educate myself, pass on their message. I would attend local governing meetings here in the village, or where I can, I would go to a city, right? If there's something I can speak about as a participant. So there are many ways we can do this. Another thing I would strongly recommend is, let's start thinking differently. And I'll give you my example. I used to work in retail, some great companies. My friends used to work in retail, and my family. And one thing which we always used to focus on is the growth. Now, growth in itself is not a negative word, but the way I think you look at the growth, it could be in a negative context. For example, are we just trying to use the resources so we can, use more of the resources so we can increase our revenues, increase our profits, while destroy the environment? That's not sustainable. We need sustainable growth, right? Like many of in my retail companies I used to work for, they used to look for growth mindset. Sell more. I was working in retail fashion, right? Sell more clothing, sell more jeans, sell more pants, sell more jackets. Fine, but sell more to last more. So, in a sense that you don't always have to push in the numbers. You need to push the quality of it, and if people can understand that you have intention when you're pushing the quality to plow back into the environment, to negate the carbon damage that we are doing, then people will be more supportive. And coming from a consumer, I encourage you to look for these companies who are carbon neutral, or at least carbon negative. Now it might cost you a little more, okay? It might cost you a little more. It might cost you a little more time. They might not have the easy funds like the huge profit-making companies do, and there's a reason they have it, because the negative effect is the planet. But it's still, in the long term, it is beneficial for us. So I would end this video on just one plea, that this is the only planet we have. I don't know how many of you have kids out there. I'm sure many do. I have kids, and my concern today is, me in this life is one thing, but what about my kids, right? And I have to do my part to make sure that they have the planet as I had it for them, or not as bad as it's forecasted to be, right? So and this is just a video of awareness. This is a video of hoping to speak to you, to start doing a little from your side about it. If you have any ideas, suggestions, please comment on this. Please like. You can even share your stories of how you have contributed to the environment. It could be a simple thing like taking more cycling rather than taking a car. Like I walk to the fruit markets so it serves me in reducing my carbon impact, and at the same time give me a workout. So I got a double benefit there. So you can always use it to benefit you, but we need to think differently. So I end this video. Thank you for your patient listening, but at the same time requesting you to join the movement, the global movement, and the people's movement, to help save our planet, address this challenge of climate change, global warming, and help keep the planet for the next generations to come. Thank you very much, and have a great week.